But to some, it seems difficult to understand that natural effects are attributed both to God and to a natural agent. For one action by two agents does not seem to be able to proceed. If therefore the action by which a natural effect is produced proceeds from the natural body, it does not proceed from God. Again, what can be done sufficiently by one is superfluous if it is done by many. For we see that nature does not do by two instruments what it can do by one. Therefore, when the divine power is sufficient to produce natural effects, it is superfluous to employ natural virtues also to produce the same effects. Or if the natural power sufficiently produces its own effect, it is superfluous that the divine act to the same effect. In addition, if God produces the whole natural effect, nothing is left of the natural agent to produce the effect. It does not seem possible, therefore, that God should be said to produce the same effects which natural things produce. But these present no difficulty if the premises are considered. For in every agent there are two things to be considered, namely, the thing itself which acts, and the power by which it acts, as fire warms by heat. Now the power of the inferior agent depends on the power of the superior agent, inasmuch as the superior agent gives the power itself to the inferior agent by which it acts, or preserves it, or even applies it to action, as an artist applies an instrument to his own effect, to whom, however, he does not give the form by which he acts, nor preserves the instrument, but gives him only motion. It is necessary, therefore, that the action of the inferior agent is not only from him through his own power, but through the power of all the superior agents. For he acts in the power of all. And as the lowest agent is found to be immediately active, so the virtue of the first agent is found to be immediate to produce the effect. For the virtue of the lowest agent does not produce this effect from itself, but from the virtue of the superior neighbor. And his virtue has this from the virtue of the superior. And thus the virtue of the supreme agent is found to be a productive effect of itself, as if it were an immediate cause, as is clear from the principles of demonstrations, the first of which is immediate. Just as therefore it is not inconvenient for one action to be produced by some agent and his power, so it is not inconvenient for the same effect to be produced by an inferior agent and God, by both directly though in a different way. It is also clear that, even if a natural thing produces its own effect, it is not superfluous for God to produce it, for a natural thing does not produce itself except by divine power. Nor is it superfluous, if God is able by himself to produce all natural effects, that they are produced by certain other causes. For this is not from the insufficiency of divine power, but from the immensity of his goodness, by which he willed to communicate his likeness to things, not only insofar as they were, but also insofar as they were the causes of others, as shown above. Through this, also, the beauty of order in created things appears. It is also evident that the same effect is not attributed to the natural cause and to the divine power, as if it were partly by God and partly by a natural agent, but entirely by both in a different manner, just as the same effect is entirely attributed to the instrument, and also entirely to the principal agent.